As you can see today, we are painting a pumpkin, and you can see the little forget-me-nots. I grabbed some, I think about a week ago. They've been sitting on my desk and I'm finding little dried ones everywhere. So anyway, today we are going to paint this pumpkin. So we've already sketched it out, and I am starting off with shell pink. So you could see the pumpkins that were at the supermarket there, and those are the kind that I want to paint. I'm inspired by them every year. They're kind of these pastel-y sage green and kind of the shell pink, really pretty colours. So I wanted to just have a paint, and one of the things I wanted to show you here, so I started off with the shell pink, but I switched to an orange. This is either Vermilion or Pyrrole Orange, and I just wanted to show that if you water that down, you can get a similar type of that soft pastel-y shade. So you don't have to have exactly the same colours here. You can mix them, or use different colours from your palette. So the next thing here that I'm using is the Daniel Smith French Ochre. So this is my go-to ochre, and I love it because it's transparent, and very light. So anytime so you can see I've switched to a larger brush, but anytime I want to use it, it's usually a mixing color, and it keeps the colors light and fresh and doesn't make them very dense and muddy. So that's why I really like the French ochre. So now we're using the Daniel Smith Fuchsite, and you can see that I mixed it just with a brown on my palette. I think it was the Dyke Brown. So I just to mute it to get that sagey color, because it's quite a minty green. So I've used that to like a dark brown to kind of mute it down a little bit, and you can see that I'm just sort of putting the wash around the colors that we've already added on there, letting them mix a little bit. Here I wanted to just pick up some colors. I'm showing you that you can either use a paper towel or your brush to lift some color where there's highlights and things. And then just continue to go in and place the kind of this sage color we've created. Okay, so now I want this sage color to become a little bit more of a green, like an olive green. So I've added a bit of the French ochre in it to create this kind of olive green color. And then I'm putting that in sort of around the shadow areas. So in the ridges there, around the side of the little top, what is that called? The little top part of the pumpkin. And yeah, just anywhere where I think it needs to be a little bit darker or have that little bit of contrast. Okay, so while that is drying, I go on to something else. So I am just working on this little emblem for the page here, and we will be doing a video about these next week, or several videos, and probably a little series about that as well. So I do that, and then I just kind of went back in here and I just added a little bit more color around the ridges, and just to kind of deepen that up. And then I am just letting everything dry. So at this point, the sort of the basic structure of the pumpkin is in, and now I want to let that all dry so that I can go back in and glaze effectively. So this takes a little while, and often I like to do kind of these things in two parts. So like I'll spend 10 minutes on it, and then I'll just go away and do something else, and then come back maybe 20 minutes or half an hour later and finish it off. Or you could come back the next day. So now I am using the Dyke Brown, and you can see that I'm just adding these tiny little bits to the stem there to create this kind of depth and make it more lifelike, that kind of shadow parts. But you can see that I don't need very much. So one of the reasons I really like watercolor is the weightlessness of it. It's a very beautiful and transparent medium, and I know that I do use opaque colors sometimes, but I really like to preserve that in the artwork, that kind of light and airy feeling. So you can see there that I don't use a very heavy hand when it comes to shadows and things like that. And then I've gone back in with the Luminance Middle Verdigris, and I've just kind of worked into those ridges a little bit more, just to create a little bit more structure and layering. And the other thing that I didn't show here is I did go back in again. I mixed a little bit of Caput Mortuum, so with the Fuchsite, so like a violet earth with the Fuchsite, to create that kind of greyish colour that you can see sort of splotched around there as well. So I just did the same thing we did at the beginning with the shell pink and the orange, but I used the mix of the like the Caput Mortuum and the Fuchsite. Or I might have even used the raw Umber Violet, but it's one of those type of colours. So that is the very quick tutorial for that. And I think we might do another quick one of the mushroom there, because I got a lot of good feedback about that, and it was actually really fun to paint and really quick like the pumpkin as well. So they're really good exercises in exploration of colours and glazing and shadows and things like that, but it's really low stress, it's really fun. So this little booklet is coming, so I'm just kind of giving you a little preview of things that are coming up. Hopefully, I've got to sort of get through all the editing and all of that, but there are a lot of really nice videos in the works. And next week we will be working on these, and that should be a really nice video. It's been a long time coming, but anyway guys, I hope you had a really lovely weekend, and I will see you next weekend. Bye.